How do you know if you know what you know? You know, in investing, it is super important that we can understand the business. And in today's episode, we're going to learn why and how we can do that. I'm Trevor, and this is Successful Investing. A Greek philosopher by the name of Socrates back in 400 BC is quoted as saying, "A wise man knows what he doesn't know." And in investing, this is extremely important. We need to be able to understand what we are capable of understanding. And companies that are too complicated, we just need to get rid of. An example of a time when the stock market was investing in things it didn't understand would be 1999, 2000, during the dot-com bubble. During this time period, investors were speculating through the roof that the internet stocks would keep going up forever. And that obviously didn't happen, and they started to come back down. People who were investing in companies with P's of 60, 80, 100 had no idea what the companies were capable of and were just gambling. In our investing style, this patient value investing style, rule one investing, we're not going to speculate, and we have to be able to understand the business. So as you start to analyze different businesses as investment prospects, I like to do a brief 5-10 minutes of research, maybe on Google, or read their annual report, which I'll try to show you guys at the end of this video, just to see if I'm able to understand it. And a test for this that I like to use is I want to be able to explain the business in one simple sentence. And after 5 to 10 minutes of just brief research, if I can't explain what the business does, I just forget about it. The best businesses to invest in are extremely simple to get. And Warren Buffett has a ton of simple businesses that he's invested in. A few of them would be Coca-Cola, and he also owns Wrigley, or See's Candy, which is a chocolate company. So if you look at those three businesses, there's nothing fancy about them. They don't have any extreme technology to them. One's just a soda producer, one's just a chocolate producer, and there's nothing complicated to these businesses, which makes them simple to understand. And the simpler it is to understand, the more likely we're going to be able to predict what's going to happen to the business in the future. And this investing strategy needs to have predictability and consistency. We need to be able to see those two things in the business. If you guys would take a look over to my right, your left, you would see a picture of Ted Williams and his strike zone. And Warren Buffett loves this picture of Ted Williams because he thinks it displays his circle of competence. The balls in red Ted Williams hits 400. Every other ball in the strike zone he hits below 400. So it was extremely important that Ted Williams could identify that perfect pitch. And Warren Buffett thinks this translates extremely well to investing because in investing we want to identify our perfect pitch or companies that we can understand that are in our circle of competence. The nice thing about investing is that there's no called strikes. So we can sit at the plate and watch pitch after pitch after pitch come at us, and we don't have to swing. It is only that we swing when we understand the business and it meets all three other criteria. So I think it would be beneficial to you guys to take a look at the process that I use to see if I can understand a business. So I'm going to show you a few different tools that I find helpful, and we're going to analyze a company called Ulta Beauty. Let's take a look.
So a really easy and quick way that we can get an understanding of the business is just do a quick Google search. And you can take a look at, their website. That would be a good way to start. I'm going to go over to Wikipedia, and I know it's not the most reliable site, but it will work for this. As an aside, you can just ignore the stock price. This is meaningless until we do an evaluation, and we have no idea if $250 is a good price or not. So we're going to head over to Wikipedia, and I'll just start scrolling through the description until I come to a sentence like this that kind of describes what they're doing. And if I go a little bit farther, I can see how large of a store they are and where they're even located. So after just a quick 30 seconds, I've already got an idea of whether or not I'm going to be able to understand this. And I think their business model is going to be simple enough to where I would say, they sell beauty products and they operate salons in the United States. From here, I usually like to take a look at their annual report just to get a little bit more basic knowledge of that. So a nice way to get there would be to type in Ulta Beauty or your company followed by Investor Relations, and that will take us to their website. And then you're looking for a heading titled SEC Filings, which is what the company files with the government. And there's nothing in here for 2020, but we'll go to 2019. And then we're looking for annual filings. All company annual reports will be labeled Form 10K, so we found it. And then you'll just download it, and we'll take a look here. They look something like this when you initially open them. And I like to just scroll down to business overview. And briefly reading through this, you'll get an even more deepened understanding of the business and what they do. And there are a lot of great things in an annual report that you can take a look at to see, do they have a competitive advantage? How is management doing running them? And also included in this is the selected financial data and their financial statements, which we will get into in a little bit more depth in future episodes. It is not too difficult to understand. There are some basic things that we look for that will tell you, is this a business worth investing in? So from here, I will typically go over to Rule 1 Investing, and this is Phil Town's website, which he uses to help himself identify companies that he might potentially invest in. And if you do not have an account, I highly recommend making one. It is totally free for a few days. So we're going to go to Ulta Beauty, and he's got some great things that are going to help us identify, can we understand it? Does it have a moat? How's management? And etc. But we're really just looking for company profile, and this is going to give us a little bit of a background of the business. And also I like to go to the Rule 1 numbers and scroll down to see that we've got 10 years of data, which is perfect. If we don't have 10 years of data, we're going to stay away from that business. So for right now, it looks like I'm able to understand it. I've got a decent understanding, and it's been around for 10 years, which is going to help us with the predictability of the business.
So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on understanding your circle of competence and realize how extremely important it is to investing. Now in next episode, I'm going to go over a few filters and tools that we can use to look at the very best businesses. And that all applies to moat and a company's competitive advantage. So that's going to be an extremely helpful video that will build on your circle of competence. As always, there's a link in the description to more content. I hope you guys take a look at that because it will be beneficial. See you guys next time.